going on, YouTube? It's your boy, Bethlehem the Beast, back at you with another video. So, this is a bit of a different video. So, I've done these talk to the cameras in the past, and yeah, so I guess it's not really a different video because I was kind of doing this for when I was prepping for my last show, so not really a different video, but yeah, so sitting here at the laptop. It is Sunday, November 24th, and yeah, I don't have a video planned for tomorrow, so this is going to be the video for Monday. Basically, I wanted to go over why I got into bodybuilding and why I'm further going all in on bodybuilding, and why I enjoy the gym, and what keeps me in the gym, and what keeps my life on track, regardless of the situations that happen. So it's gonna be like a long one-take video. But yeah, so you know, growing up, I kind of went over this in the past a bit. You know, financially, growing up, there wasn't much struggle, and at least from my perspective as a kid. Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't, but all I know is when I was growing up, physically, my sister and I have a younger sister, 3 years younger than me. I'm 30 years old. My sister's 27. You guys saw her in the, you know, Beast on Vacation series, so. Yeah, my sister and I, physically, we had everything that we wanted in you know, that we could ask for. Not anything, you know, nothing crazy. You know, it wasn't like we lived in a mansion or anything, right? But you know, we grew up in Southern California, in a place called Mission Viejo, California. So those of you guys are from Southern California, you guys know it's a decently wealthy area. It's not like my family was super rich, but you know, we grew up in a house in Southern California, and you know, there wasn't really much. There was a lot of love, I guess. You know, my family liked to give the perception of love, right? Where I want to say the perception, right? Because that's probably not the right thing to say. My family gave. Matter of fact, let me pause this. I just realized I'm still listening to this Dave Palumbo podcast in the background. So, I don't want to say the perception of love, right? It's more of the, their idea of love is that everything is great for a couple of months, and after a couple of months it seems too normal, so we have to fight. There has to be some sort of conflict, and so I felt like from a young age there was always some sort of, I want to say side picking. You know, I have to be on somebody's side, or you know, there was just a lot of arguments, to be honest. You know, like between my mother and my grandparents, and my mother and my sister's father. A little bit more backstory is that I never met my dad. When I was about, this is just going ahead a bit, but just add to the backstory here. When I was about 16, I reached out to him, and you know, I didn't like the way that conversation went, and I guess that's, you know, in hindsight now, it's, you know, I guess I can kind of understand where he was coming from, but at the same time I still don't respect it, because like we got on a call, and he was like, you know, telling me about why him and my mom didn't work out. I don't really give a shit about that. You know, people don't work out. I get it, for sure. Not everybody's meant to be Romeo and Juliet. I completely understand that, right? So, and then he ended the conversation with that as oh, if you want me to be in your life, you have to call me your father, you have to call me your dad, and you're gonna have to respect me as such. And I was like, That didn't sit right with me, you know? Especially being a 16-year-old hot-headed kid. And now, you know, in hindsight, and I'm 30 now, so like I could probably have come at that a bit more calmly, right? But even still, as a 30-year-old man, I'm just like, I don't know if I would say that to, you know, my son that I had never been in his life, you know? Uh, yeah, I don't know if I would have said that. But again, he's a different man. But you know, I get it where he's coming from too. You don't want a young man coming into your life not respecting you either. But I also believe that respect is earned, trust is earned, relationships are earned. Just because you physically did something that allowed me to be here doesn't mean that you uh, emotionally deserve my respect. You know what I mean? I respect you as a human, but I'm not going to respect you as a father. But anyway, so never met my dad, right? Um, so the only father that I guess I can say that I've known is my sister's father, and there was a lot of shit. I don't want to be too personal about it, but there was you know, like I said, there was a lot of arguments within, you know, that I recall. It was all love for sure. You know, physically, like being a young man, you know, we all had our own rooms. You know, I had the new fucking gaming consoles when they came out, and you know, but as a young man, you know, like my mother was, Italian, right? My mother's side of the family is Italian, and my father that I don't know is Nigerian. So, um, my mother was raised on the eat more, eat as much as you want to, eat as much, you know, and yeah. So growing up, you know, was homeschooled. I was in a private school till about third grade, but I had ADHD. I still have ADHD. You know, it is what it is. I don't give a fuck. You know, it's ADHD. You need it. Now that I'm a grown man, I've learned that you need to have something where you can channel that ADHD into, rather than just try to take drugs and, you know, manage the side effects of those drugs. So as a young man, young boy, I guess, you know, was going to a doctor and getting pills, and you know, I was in a private school, and I just never, always felt like I was different, you know, and I don't mean different in like a bad way, and I still have this feeling too, and I just feel like I was different, like that wasn't my purpose, that wasn't why I shouldn't be there, you know, I felt like I was just uh, uh, a square peg trying to fit into a round hole. There we go. I was trying to think of that saying. I could visualize what the hell was going on. I couldn't picture the words. Right. So even now, I'm just like, as a 30-year-old man, coming out of my 20s, definitely, I'm just like, a lot of people do shit that I'm just not interested in, and I've cut off a lot of my friends for that same reason, is because they do a lot of shit that I am just not interested in. You know, and it's not anything against them. Maybe it's just a realization of I'm growing, and I don't want to do the same shit that I've always done, expecting a different result, right? So, ADHD brain, going off topic again, right? So a lot of arguments growing up, and yeah. So my sister's dad left when I was 14. So you know, when he was there, I called him dad, but now I wouldn't really call him dad, because he just kind of left in the middle of the night and left us a note, and left my mom a note, and see you later. You know, so again, like everybody has their own reasons. I completely understand if he left because of the arguing, because the arguing was quite intense sometimes, you know. And you know, everybody has their own upbringing and why they do things the way they do. So again, this is supposed to be a segue into me, why I got into bodybuilding, right? So there was a lot of a lot of, like, how do I say this? There was a lot of emotional baggage from me growing up as a young man and having to grow up relatively quickly, because after that, my mom kind of went on her own little self journey, and I would say that she's still going on, to be honest. I don't think that my mother has ever found or ever felt like she is the person that she wants to be, right? And she's never tried to do anything hard. I mean, from my perspective, I don't want to say my mom doesn't try, because she's also a very smart woman. She's a nurse. She, went to a big Ivy League college, and, that in itself is hard, right? So there are, I don't want to discredit. From my perspective, though, I feel like she never emotionally wanted to do anything that was hard or be introspective or have any belief in herself, right? So, yeah, so that was kind of put on me and my sister, was that we needed to have that belief. And every time we started doing things and she felt uncomfortable, she would kind of skew our mindset to not do those things, right? So after my sister's dad left, it was really just me and my sister. We had that house still, and my mom was she was working nights a lot, and then she'd get off of work, and she was looking for her new husbands, per se, so she was dating, I'll say that, right? And so she wasn't there quite a bit until she found a husband, and that was when I was about 16. So segue from 16 to 17, right? We always had these weights in the garage from my sister's dad, and I was 17, and I was like, you know what? I got all these bodybuilding posters. I got all these bodybuilders on the wall, and something I always looked up to. I went through a lot of phases when I was a kid where I wanted to be a fucking skateboarder. I wanted to be a rock band singer. I even grew my hair out to be fucking emo and wear those beanie hats, and a lot of those off the wall shits that just didn't make sense. I feel like I was just doing it just because my mom didn't like it, and when I started working out, the first time at least, I was like, damn, I'm doing this for me. I like this. This is, and I worked out like shit. I didn't have a training plan. I just went in the garage, and I did bench press, and I did easy bar curls, and I did preacher curls, and I did leg extensions, and I did some military press and handstand push-ups, and just basic exercises, and I thought I was the shit. And I put on some muscle relatively quickly, because I don't half-ass shit in life. I always go all in, right? Excuse me one second. I always go all in. So I took my basic understanding and, went to Walmart, got some Walmart protein powders and protein bars, and started tracking my protein as much as I could. And, yeah. I got my first job at, around 6 months after that, and I said, fuck it. It's too hard to work out, because that was the mindset that was instilled in me, was that, it's hard to do more than one thing at one time, right? And don't stress yourself out. Try to do other things, right? And so I stopped working out. And that's when I feel like I've really lost myself, I started hanging out with the wrong crowd of people, and was more focused on getting high and doing drugs and learning about drugs and trying to fit in with these people I didn't really give a shit about. I was just like, damn, if these people just think I'm cool, and now I look back at it and I'm just like, did I want to be like these fucking people? Like, I was hanging out with, not to discredit anybody, but I was hanging out with fucking drug dealers and 30-year-old men that were living at home with their parents still, and talking about shit that they did in high school. And I'm just like, hindsight is 2020 and, all that shit. So I was just a young, dumb kid trying to hide his emotions in drugs, right? So, yeah. So I was doing a lot of shit that I just was hiding my emotions. So, yeah, I got into, I got into bodybuilding because I've told this before in videos. Wife the Beef's kind of just asked me questions that I never asked myself, and then I started asking myself those questions, and I was just like, huh, what do I want to do? And then I just started making a lot of changes. I stopped hanging around, even at the point where I met Wife the Beast. I was coming out of a long relationship that I was never really happy with, and I never wanted to admit that to myself because I even at that point I may have stopped doing drugs and stopped doing mind altering substances and shit, right? I'll say that. And I still had addictions. I was addicted to just get off of work and fucking play video games, and I was maybe TMI, but I was quite addicted to fucking porn and not realizing the harm that I was doing to myself. And one day my ex left, and I was just like, what the fuck? It's like that your mindset just changes, and you go from something that you've known, even though you weren't happy, you go from something that you've known for a long time, and to just, I have to figure myself out, right? And you want to fucking, at that point, like, I was always about people need to help other people, and I'm still about people need to help other people, but I have a different mentality when it comes to people need to help other people. I don't think people need to go and destroy themselves to help other people. I think people need to be realistic with other people that they care about, right? So everybody gets upset, everybody gets sad, but it doesn't mean that you need to go out of your way to help that person. Sometimes you need to tell that person what the fuck they need to hear, right? And it might hurt in that moment, for sure. But I was around, just talking to my mom and talking to my sister and talking, and it was just they not anything bad against either of them. I love my sister, I love my mom, even though my mom and I don't really have the best relationship. I just I was like, I'm fucking sad and everybody else needs to be sad, right? So I didn't know what to do with myself. And so Wife the Beast again, we met at my job. I used to work at a club, and she was coming in for her friend's birthday and shit, and yeah, so we started hanging out as friends and stuff, and she started asking me questions of what I wanted to do with myself. And I started asking myself what I wanted to do with myself. And like, even still on this journey, like, I still love cars, I still like video games, but definitely not as much. But I was just like, oh, I want to be a race car driver. And I have a 94 Integra. It's kind of on the back burner now. I don't, it's turboed. It just sits in the garage. I don't really, it is what it is. When I get to it, I get to it, right? It's not a priority, especially now having my son on the way and shit. But I was like, oh, I want to be a race car driver. She was just like, okay, let's make it happen. And I was like, huh. If it's just so easy to make shit happen, why don't I just make shit happen, right? And it wasn't necessarily that moment. I was just like, I started asking myself what it is I really wanted to do. And I was like, what have I always done that made me feel good? And then I was like, oh, working out, the gym, bodybuilding, right? So like, we had moved around quite a bit. And we were in Long Beach at the time, Long Beach, California. And I was just like, I'm gonna be a fucking bodybuilder. And we started going to our local park, and I started doing dips and and pull-ups and push-ups and shit, and that was my workout, getting walks in and getting steps in. And I remember I couldn't do a fucking pull-up and I can only do like 5 dips and maybe about 10 push-ups, right? And I was just like, I'm gonna get better at this. And then I, I was, as I do, I just research everything, and so I started, counting my macros again, and signed up for Planet Fitness after that, and one thing led to another, and the more I started finding myself in the gym, the more I started trying to put that into my daily life, right? I learned nutrition quite a bit from YouTube, and then even now I have a coach, Coach Adam, and he taught me more about bodybuilding than I thought was possible, right? And I was just like, we go into things like, okay, I'm going to be a student, I'm going to listen, but I feel like at this point I know that a lot of that there is to learn about bodybuilding, and I didn't know shit. I'll see if I post some pictures, but on my Instagram I did the C-Bums Get Your Shit Together challenge, and I got relatively lean. It was probably maybe 10% body fat, maybe 9% body fat, and I was like 190-ish, right? So like that was relatively the first time that I seen myself get super lean, and I was just like, I did this. And that feeling of just like, being 305 pounds to just seeing myself super lean and fucking doing shit that little kid me would be like super proud of. Like, I was just like, alright, this is what I want to do. And, those moments in the gym where I was just like, fuck, I don't want to do this shit anymore. It's fucking hard. And, like, why am I pushing myself this hard? And I'd always go look at myself in the mirror afterwards, and I remember the moment that I saw my abs, I was just like, holy shit. And this is very, like, self-absorbed, I guess, but I'm fucking proud of that shit, because I earned something, and I still am earning something in this world that can't be taken away from me by somebody else, and money can't fucking buy this shit, and, I am the fucking man, the person that I want to be, right? So, yeah, I got relatively lean, and then I used a lot of that, Dorian Yates talks about this a lot, that fuck you mentality, right? Like, I took a lot of that rage and anger and fucking pain and being at the bottom and just like not knowing who the fuck I am and figuring out who the fuck I am, and and I just took all of that and I put that shit in the gym, and I was just like, it's not, I don't think it's very mentally healthy sometimes. I still try to be more positive in the gym, but a lot of the times I'll revert back to it where I'm just like, I'll just click. I think that really makes a good bodybuilder, makes good athletes, where you're able to just like flip that switch from being that chill dude to going in the gym to being like, alright, it's fucking wartime. Fuck you. Fuck everybody in here. I put my headphones on and fuck that. These weights are talking shit to me. The world is talking shit to me. That guy over there is saying I can't do this. I'm saying I can't do this, and I'm gonna fucking show everybody I can do more than they think that I can, right? And I click that shit on, and it's just, I let all my frustrations and I let all my stress out right there in the gym. Even if I'm not yelling, sometimes I do yell. It is what it is. But yeah. So I've just taken a lot of that pain from my childhood and being very low in emotions and low in self-belief to telling myself every day that I'm going to do hard shit and I'm going to be the fucking best at it, and believing in what I can do by showing myself what I can do, right? And yeah, even now, like I had a security business. I don't really talk about this shit. It doesn't really matter. Money at the end of the day is just to have what you need. I'm not a very materialistic person. I don't really give a shit about having shit that I can show off or, look at me. I don't, I want people to look at me for something that I've earned, right? Like, I've earned my fucking physique. And I will continue to earn a physique in this world that people are just like, damn, I want to be like that fucking guy. And it's not because I want to show off, it's because I want to show people what the fuck is possible as long as you believe in yourself. All right, so yeah, so I lost my security business, and I feel like, I say this all the time, it's just like, you got to believe in yourself, right? So like, I want to have a business that's based on fitness, right? So starting online coaching, and I have some people right now, and it's cool, it works. Well, yeah, I started coaching some people, and right now it's slow, but it's like I didn't see results from going to the gym, and bodybuilding has taught me a lot to where it's the long game, right? You got to play the long game. You got to be smart. You got to think about your long-term gratification, right? So yeah, financially it's fucking hard right now, but life is fucking hard. And I'm going to smile every day and say, I'm going to fucking win this shit just with the same mentality that I have in the gym, It's not about being comfortable today, because fuck that. What do you have to be comfortable for? Even when you have reached a goal, there's always another goal that can be reached, right? So I think that the moment that people find comfort and want to look to fill their life with as much physical comfort as possible is when depression sets in. And I really believe that depression is just an acceptance of not being the best fucking version of you, right? And that could be very controversial, right? But I think that depression is a big fucking medicated disease where people are just accepting the fact that they fucking will not get up and do anything about their life that they're unhappy about. And it sucks, but doesn't mean that you can't get up and fucking one day at a time, one step at a time, practice habits and make changes to what's making you unhappy, right? So I was 305 pounds and working 120 hours a week. There's 144 hours in the week for those of you guys who don't know. And I was working 120 of them. So essentially I had a day off. Not even a day off, because I was working every single day, right? But, that the day off would include driving back home, driving and sleeping and eating, and I was 305 pounds, eating fast food, smoking cigarettes, living to work, and I was just, it's very easy to be negative in that moment. So looking back at myself when I was 305 pounds, I can see why I was negative, but I never thought, if my goal was to be a bodybuilder and I was 305 pounds, how am I going to do this, right? That was always my thoughts. How am I going to do this? And it's easy now. Hindsight is 20/20. Is that you just got to be patient. You just have to do the work, one day at a time, right? And that goes for anything in your life. Any of your goals, align your actions with your goals, and just make shit happen. You want to be the guy that people look up to. You want to be the guy in the room, right? You're not afraid to talk to people because you're a fucking introvert. You want to be the guy that's not the overthinker. It's much easier said than done, for sure, but just get up and do it, right? Take little steps, right? Where you're sitting in the corner, because I'm very introverted. I'm very quiet. I very to myself. And I don't like that. I want to be the guy that talks to people, that's, gets advice from other people, or gives advice to other people, or talks to people, and, learns from him or from those around him, right? So instead of doing what makes me comfortable, which is sitting in the corner, being at the gym and staying on my machine and putting my head down, and I see somebody that's, more jacked than me, I'll be like, hey, dude, What you training today? What you got going on? How did you get so good? Whatever. Strike up a conversation because it makes me fucking uncomfortable, and I want to be uncomfortable so I can grow in those positions, right? So, yeah. Basically, you're not gonna find growth in comfort. You have to get up and do things that make you feel uncomfortable. You know, you can't learn from a position of comfort. You can't grow from a position of comfort. And you have to be thankful for the shit that you have in your life. Where you get up, you got your lights on in your house, you got food in your fridge, you have a means to make money, you have a car, you have a bed, you have a fucking warm shower, you have a blanket, you have a clean place to come and hang your hat at the end of the day, and be thankful for the work that you were able to do for the people that can't work or can't do the things that you are doing every single day in your life. So there's a bunch of shit to be thankful for in your life, even the smallest shit. So find one thing and be thankful for it. Be thankful for the food in your fridge. Be thankful for the fucking lights in your house. Be thankful for your life. Every day you wake up is a gift, regardless of those challenges. Be thankful for the shit that you have in your life. So you have a lot to be thankful for every day that you wake up. The moment that you open your eyes, practice your thankful list. Write shit down. Even if you're just laying in bed an extra 10 minutes and you just, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that, I'm thankful for my wife, I'm thankful for my bed, I'm thankful for my home, I'm thankful for my ability to make money, I'm thankful for my physique, I'm thankful, whatever, right? Just say that. Just start saying it to yourself. I'm thankful for X, Y, Z. And that's one way that you can start improving your positivity in your day, right? So, again, this was supposed to be about why I got into bodybuilding, but I basically got into bodybuilding to remove the pain that I had from my life, right? And the pain that I was allowing to affect me, the pain that I was allowing to keep me from my ultimate goals, the you know, asking myself the hard questions and growing from that. So do hard shit in your life, guys, whatever that may be. You want to go fucking be a race car driver, you want to be a soccer player, you want to be a chef, you want to fucking start your business, whatever that may be, just get up and do it. Take steps. Make sure your actions are in line with that goal. Start talking to people, learning, and making shit happen, right? So, love yourself. This is a bit of a different video. I guess this is kind of like a solo podcast and an introspective Bethlehem the Beast, right? So, nothing but peace and love, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a bit different, so peace and love, guys.